kids come to the class and thank us, and also present our club with their pennies for polio and the match. And our club, and I know Judy and many of us, some of the club members matched what the kids had done themselves, but I think it was over 2,000. But it was such an uplifting thing. It was so great though that coming back to marketing, I have to show you this. Glenn, who was a great marketer on our staff, took this picture of me. So, and there had just been a sports magazine coming out with the 25 greatest athletes of all time, and I have to regress for a second to talk about that, because as I was going through my polio experience, my doctor, Dr. Cohen was his name, said to my parents, you know, I know Ed has family members that are great athletes and he would like to be an athlete, but you ought to get him interested in something else because he'll never be able to play sports. And keep our time going. I said, I came out of the dressing room and I said, I'll show you, Dr. Cohen. So that was when I was 5. When I was 18, I was playing football, and I had at Camp Courage, Bob Richards, any of you remember him?
Yeah.
He wrote a book called The Heart of a Champion. He was a champion. He won 2 gold medals in the pole vault, but he had a lot of friends. One was Parry O'Brien. Parry O'Brien was a shot putter. He won the 2 gold medals also, and he had pole. At Camp Courage, I met him, and he was my. If I had a mentor or someone, he said, Ed, you can be an athlete, even though the doctor told me. And I won the conference shot put title, and I kicked and played football. And here's a story that I told the kids that, you know, that what the mind of man or woman can conceive and believe it can achieve as a positive mental attitude. PMA, you hear all of the speakers on positive mental attitude. Mine was back then. My coach, high school football coach, said, Ed, we're going to make your greatest weakness, my leg, your greatest strength. And he worked with me. He was the high school coach, but he was working with me from the time I was about probably 5th grade. And he started teaching me and working on my legs. My legs are the weakest part. So he said, what you're going to do, we're going to make you a kicker. And we did. And we played Moorhead High School in a game. It was a preseason. It wasn't part of our athletic conference, but it was a preseason game. We played them. And we were tied 6-6. We scored a touchdown to tie the game. And I hadn't kicked yet. This was my beginning of my senior year. All my life. He said, I'm going to send you in. So my dad and I never had a relationship. My dad was always a little embarrassed because he was a bully himself. I was different than the other kids. He never went to anything that I really participated in until that game. So here I am going to kick the extra point. My dad's standing right behind the goalpost. I saw him back there. And I said, oh, sure. So we didn't kick the side. So it was a number that you kick straight forward rather than like a soccer kick. Put the ball down and I kicked it. Went over. I had caught it. We won the game. My dad I still have football. He and our relationship changed thanks to my coach giving me the chance. I'm carried off by my teammates, all of those that were. And I'm the kind of like this article, you know. So after we're in the locker room, I hear this voice that's very, very familiar to me that I hadn't heard for years. And he said, Coach, I have to get in. I have to see that young man. And as I'm standing there, I said, I know that name, but I know that voice. So he came in and in walks Dr. Cohen. And he walks in and I see him, and I didn't know how to feel because I remember too. And he looked at me, he walked right up to me, and he said, "You son of a..." I said, "Well, what did I do?" He said, "You just kicked the extra point that beat my son's team. My son is the captain."
Oh, life is good.
And he couldn't have been happier for you.
And then he came up and he just gave me a big bear hug. He said, "I am so proud of you." He said, "Nobody ever told me they'd show me," and did, and you did. And